So recently, Zelensky was in Washington, D.C. I think he was requesting for more aid from the United States. It doesn't seem everybody likes this, not necessarily because they don't support Ukraine, but because they want accountability. Listen.
Senator, could you come to the camera?
Okay, very briefly.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Not to interrupt just the
No, go
conversation
ahead.
you were just having, but did anything that you learned in there change your perspective on Ukraine aid? You've
No.
been pretty
No.
outspoken.
No, it did not. Listen. What I heard in there. Let me just choose my words carefully, given it was a classified briefing. But I'll just say this. I mean, if there's a path, if there's some path to victory in Ukraine, I didn't hear it today. And I also heard that there was going to be no end to the funding requests. So I think this latest request for, what is it, $24 billion? That is not the end. They made that very clear. It's not close to the end. So I would just say what we're basically told is buckle up and get out your checkbook. Of course, it's not our checkbook. And can I just say, by the way, I'm sick and tired of hearing all of these people in that room for the administration applaud Congress for being so generous. This isn't our money. For heaven's sake. We're not being generous. It's the American people's money. And they spent $115 billion of it. And so far they have basically nothing to show for it. And they're going to ask for a heck of a lot more. $24 billion is not the end. Not even close
So what
to the end.
happens if Congress doesn't help them with what they need?
Well, hopefully, number one, our European allies will actually do something. And they just confirmed to us again that we have spent more than all of Europe combined.
Really?
I mean, last I looked...
And Europe is the neighbors, right? They're the neighbors to Ukraine, which would mean, or the assumption would be, if there was to be any immediate threats to this, the European neighbors, it would be them first. But America is spending more than all of them combined.
Look, Russia was in Europe. So we need our European allies to step up to the plate here, and Germany in particular, we can start with them, and do more. But that's not the message they're sending. The message they're sending is the American people are on the hook indefinitely. So let's have no more applause for Congress spending other people's money. They should go to the American people and just level with them and say, we want 50, 100 billion more, maybe more than that.
But you Some of these other Republicans, they're saying that essentially withdrawing the assistance we're giving to Ukraine would amount to worse than what happened when the Biden administration withdrew from Afghanistan. What's your response to that?
Here's what I think you could do. Go through and listen to take all these comments about what would happen if we didn't keep spending the American people's money. Take out Ukraine, insert Iraq, or insert Afghanistan, and you would get exactly what George W. Bush said for years, and other people after him, about why we have to stay indefinitely in those countries and keep spending money indefinitely, with no oversight, by the way, and at the end of the day, very little to show for it. It's the same recycled arguments. I don't know why we have to go through this again.
Iraq seems a little bit different than Russia.
How? The arguments aren't any different. That's the same argument over and over. Listen, I just listened to them say, for our standing in the world, we must keep spending this money. Literally. For our standing in the world. I mean, that's now what we're spending money on? For our standing in the world?
Do you plan to
Mark
attend?
Kelly mentioned
For
at a
reputation.
pen and pad today that after the war is over, there may be a need for a Marshall Plan-esque,
Yeah, right.
spending to
No doubt.
rebuild the country. What do you make of that?
Oh, yeah, that'll be next. We're talking, that's what I mean. They want $24 billion now, many, 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 many more billions over the next year. It just said that. And then they'll want on top of that, who knows how much. Now listen, here's what I did today. I just stood out on the steps of the Capitol today with people from my state and around the country who were exposed to nuclear radiation by the federal government, and they haven't gotten a penny from their government. Not a penny for 70 years. And you want me to go spend their money, $100 billion more on Ukraine, and they can't even get basic health care because they've been poisoned by their government with military operations? That infuriates me, to be honest with you.
Are you concerned at all that pulling out of Ukraine, pulling aid away from Ukraine, could then send a bad message to China, to President Xi?
No, I think the message that we need to send. Listen, the way to deter China is to deter China, and you have to do that in the Pacific. Ukraine is not in the Pacific, so our number one national security threat is China. Right now, we are out of position. If China invades Taiwan tomorrow, we are not in a position to stop it. And I think we've got to tell the truth to the American people. If they invade Taiwan, Taiwan falls.
A lot of people argued. I remember reading comments. People said this is speculative and it's not true, that American soldiers or American defense system is strong enough to, be everywhere they are, support all these battles and still support America. That's what I heard. But it doesn't seem like he thinks the same thing.
I mean, that's just... So, if you're not concerned about that, then that's fine. But I am.
Do you plan to attend Zelensky's meeting with senators tomorrow?
I doubt it, although after what I heard today, I'm thinking maybe I should, just because I was so surprised by what I just heard in there about the state of the effort that I thought, maybe I should hear this directly from Zelensky, because what I heard was alarming.
So you want to hear from him the status
State of the war effort. I was surprised by what I heard in there about where
About
it
the
is.
progress.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for him?
Well, I mean, on this, about the progress. I mean, that was a little different tune that was sung to us there than I've heard sung in public, and it was an alarming one. I'll just say without saying anything more.
Senator Hawley,
Yeah.
Alarming. You've said it all.
A lot for our money. That most of this money has gone to weapons manufacturing in the United States.
Military contractors.
Upgrading our own factories, modernizing them, restocking our own arms after we gave them some of our older weapons, and that's actually going to help us and help our own military and provide jobs for Americans. At the same time, he points to Russia's military being degraded on the cheap, because we've spent trillions of dollars to counter the Russian military. For like $100 billion, we've really helped Ukraine destroy a lot of Russian military equipment and capacity. And he also says, Ukraine is free. That's a victory.
Well, last I looked, Ukraine had a whole bunch of Russian troops in their territory. So we've spent $113 billion. That is not cheap of the American people's money. And frankly, the idea that I'm sure the military contractors are loving this. Oh, no doubt they are. They're making gobs of money. Is that equaling new American jobs? I'd love to see that analysis. I haven't heard any actual numbers. I've heard a lot of happy talk about it. I've also heard from the same people that spending of money in Ukraine is deterring China. I mean, these folks, if they want, they need to make the case for Ukraine. If they have a strategy to win, let's hear it. If they have a strategy to actually end this conflict, let's hear it. But let's not have any more, frankly, misleading comments. Let's not lie to the American people about what we're doing and where we are. Let's not tell them we're winning when we are not. Let's not tell them that Ukraine is winning when it's not. Let's not tell them we're ready to stop China when we are not. They lied to us about Iraq. They lied to us about Afghanistan. I'm frankly tired of having them actively mislead us about Ukraine. I mean, this should stop. These people should stop.
Do you think that they should try to provide the equipment to drive Russian forces entirely out of Ukraine?
No. Should we? No. Absolutely not. No, we should not. I'm totally opposed to putting American troops on the ground. They say they are, but
I'm not talking about troops.
no.
Do you think that they should?
No, I think we should. No, we spent $115 billion. What we ought to be doing is getting our force posture where it needs to be in the Pacific vis-a-vis China, where we are badly out of position.
The other argument that's made, including by Mark Kelly, who just came back from Ukraine, is sort of a domino effect argument. That if,
Right.
that if we pull out of Ukraine,
Like Vietnam.
that they would then be on the doorstep of Poland, they would be emboldened to go after Lithuania and all these other satellite states that used to be part of the Soviet Union.
Well, wait, you just said a second ago that their military is significantly degraded. So how are they going to, it's one or the other, right? Either the military is degraded and they're not in position to do that, or they're about to overrun all of Europe. It's not both. So, I mean, I think you should put that question to the folks who say that. I mean, is their military, is it a roaring tiger, or is it degraded? I mean, it's one or the other. So the truth is that the argument always shifts to whatever's at hand to get us to spend more of the American people's money without any strategy for victory. And that's what I just heard down there today. So,
Okay, yeah, we can end down right there. I feel like the American people are also tired and they're beginning to speak up everywhere. TikTok, whatever platforms they can use, they're speaking up. Because people are saying we're done with America being the world's policeman. We have issues and situations we need to handle in America. How about we use these funds in America? And this does not necessarily mean Americans are opposed or do not support Ukraine or want or do not support peace. They just would like a better America. And I'm not American, but I've read those. I've seen videos like that and watch because I watch a lot of Patrick Bet David, and a lot of people that come there say the same thing, that they would like America to, at least ask what they're using the funds for. Because if you're spending a lot of money, you should see the results, right? It's like sending your child to school and you don't look at their report cards to see where they're doing well or where they might be doing bad or doing poorly. You need to some accountability. You know where your money is going to and where it can be improved. If you need to give more money, why? Or if I give more money right now, what would they do right now? All this information, people need to know. So yeah, instead of just sending more money, I'm not an American, so it's not my money going there. But some accountability would be nice, it would be nice. Anyways, let me know what you think about that. If there's anything you want to add, share, comment. If you're totally opposed to what I just said or what the senator just said, feel free to tell us and, share your reasons why. Again, like I've emphasized, this does not necessarily mean he is opposed to everything Ukraine is doing. He's just asking for accountability. At least that's what I read or I understood from his speech. Anyways, this is the end of this one. Share your thoughts, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.